learned that from UGK. Back a pocket full of stones. I'm doing enough for Becky, yeah, the free hot. The head honcho, nigga, no tonto, nigga. Uh, we live. A shooter's reception. About to get it in. They said with letters. All right. Yo. What it do? What it do? What it do? Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to my live stream. One second. What it do? What it do? What it do? Nah, don't play me back to me, nigga. Welcome back to the stream. Nah, I gotta do that. Anyway, welcome back, everybody. We are doing this. It is my Swag Dummy TV, Swag Dummy Inc. TV. I am your lovely, lovely host and educator, Mosa K. Diamond, and welcome back to the Swag Dummy Inc. TV show. This is my third stream going up. Today we will be having a discussion about athletes, and I'm going to be giving the game that I have on how you ensure success as an athlete inside and outside the gym, but mostly outside the gym because we already know that inside you already know what to do inside the gym. But a lot of what I'm going to be saying will be targeting it'll be there, bits and bits of pieces will be targeting that area as well, because athletes are not being successful and they don't know why. And then they blame the world and they blame the successful ones for how they're, making it, which is really sad. Before we get into that, just want to remind everyone, I am giving away my ebook for another week. I've got the Narcissist ebook for weight loss. I'll be giving it away. And I have the bulking ebook. I just need to remember where it is. But I have the bulking ebook also out now. So I'm only taking about 50 slots maximum for the challenge. 12-week. You get the ebook for free. And starting next week, what's going to be the date? Because we've already started Monday. So next week on the 7th of July, we will be starting the transformation challenge. So you got 12 weeks to get right. Okay. And if you are the best, well, not if, you got to set yourself a little bit higher. The best transformations from the Narcissist, and then the best transformations from the bulking book, which I'm going to be choosing one winner from each. I will be paying your gym fee for a year, and I will be sponsoring supplementation for 3 months. That is the prizes I'm be giving to the winners of either book. So sign up today. Hit me in the DMs if you're interested. Tell a friend, share it around. We will be doing that. Anywhere, anyhow. 1 year, full gym membership. I will be taking it upon myself to do so. Um, and that is my NGO of the day, me giving back. So don't be out here saying that I'm selling a course to be famous, because I am giving you guys the plug. All right, now back to the agenda at hand. How can you become successful as an athlete? Right? Now, disclaimer. Obviously, a lot of people are going to be like, hey, you're speaking from a point where you are just starting a new platform, blah, 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 blah. Listen, okay. I'm only say this once because I don't want to be debating people in my comments and in my chats. I have been at the other end of the industry, and that's the industry all athletes want to tap into, and that's collaborating with the companies. I was a part of the companies that people needed to collaborate with. I've had my fair share of sponsorships and everything like that. Obviously, I do need to really lock in again. Scheduling has been an issue, but I know what I'm talking about. I have been at the supplement company that sponsored supplements to athletes. I have been at the supplement shop where and I was managing it and running it myself. All right, we were doing the sponsorships. My mentors were brand managers, right? Robbie Crawford, my first coach and my biggest mentor, and then we got Etienne van Deventer. I had to say it like that because he knows I gotta put him on. I gotta say it correct. He's also another great mentor of mine, and we've been at the forefront of sponsorships and athletes for a really long time. Look, to be fairly honest, there's a lot of trial and error. I think I'll actually add in a little segment at the end for companies, just to kind of like save you from wasting money, teaching you how to choose people, because the companies actually take a bigger risk in investing in you guys. So I'm going to teach you how not to be a risk to the company, and then I'm going to teach the companies on how not to take on liabilities. One second, let me jot that down. Companies. All right. So I've just added to my agenda. So let's get into it. First things first, what I want to target on, what I want to talk about is the importance of an image. Now, everybody being an influencer thinks that they've got that down to the T because they're posting, but you don't really, because how you look isn't something that can convert into sales. So let's just put out the points right now. A company only takes you on if you are making a contribution, or if you are an asset worthy of taking on, because you are supposed to make them more money. Nobody who doesn't know you likes you that much that they'll just put you on and hope not to make a single dime from you. And one thing you really need to avoid thinking as an athlete is that the only reason things didn't go well with another company is because the product wasn't good. No, the moment you become an influencer, you become a salesperson, right? And when you become a salesperson, you need the ability to be able to sell everything. Now, if you look at how Shaquille O'Neal went about his business adventures and everything like that, if you don't know, just YouTube all his talks, you'll hear what he says. He took a business, and every time he bought over a company, he would give himself a contract as the brand ambassador, as the main endorser of the brand, and he would pay himself to advertise the brand because he knew that his name would sell the franchise. Right? Now, not everybody has that power, but you need to know that when a company messages you and say, listen, we want to work with you, we want you to take our brand, we want you to push our stuff, you need to understand that you fall under that category where they want to take you. You're the asset. They want to put their brand next to you so that their brand sells better. And that's really what you're aiming for. Now, people definitely get it confused, because at one point when somebody signs you up as a brand ambassador, you think that you deserve it. You think that it's a gift. It's not a gift. Just because you get unboxing, just because things get delivered into your mail, just because you can get a package in the mail and all the other stuff. You don't deserve it. It's a joint venture, right? It's a joint venture. It's a collaboration. It's a partnership, right? Them giving you the product is the easiest thing they could have done, right? But you selling the product, that's where your value comes about. And most people don't know how to convert simply posting something to selling. Some people just repost. 90% of the people that have ambassadorships are just reposters. And that's why not more companies work for you, right? And that puts you in a position where you don't have the ability to leverage anything. You can't go back to the company and ask for more because you're not selling anything. You are you're very much a liability because they're just giving you free stuff, right? So the most important thing that you need to start out with is understanding where your level is. You got to go there knowing what you bring to the table. All right? This is a relationship, but this is a Gen Z relationship where you got to bring something to the table as well. Otherwise, it's a partnership. It's not a charity event. So, first you got to look, okay, outside of the followers and all this other stuff, because that's the first thing that you're going to be pushing forward. I have so and so followers, right? But now there's smarter tools to see what engagement you have with your followers, right? So engagement isn't the only thing. They'll go into every single post you have, and they'll go through every comment that you have, and they want to see how much of the people here love you like that. How much of it feels like a cult? If you do not have a cult following, you're not going to make money. And that's the truth. If you don't think so, and even though some of the most humble athletes or humble people or humble looking like people in the world have occult followings. Example, Christopher Bumstead. If there isn't a show, a classic show where kids go there and shave their whole beards off and just keep the mustache on, that is a cult following. Getting a mullet haircut, that is a cult following, right? People praise that. At one point, Ronnie Coleman had the biggest cult following. We don't yell lightweight baby in the gym because it's just a phrase that is a cult following. Do you understand? Time to bleed. All those things. It's just how you're going to be successful. Now, at the time when he did that, he probably didn't know that he was creating a cult following. The same with Christopher. But at the end of the day, they're the people that are at the Mount Rushmore of success in bodybuilding and in fitness and whatever. Mind you, for those listening, this isn't just something that can fall into bodybuilding. If you want a sponsorship with a company, listen in on this because it works pretty much for everyone. Content creators all around, and not just fitness, but content creation in a whole. You need these lessons. So now with this occultic following that you have, you got to get people to sign up to the things that you love, right? Start with challenges. They look at the Q&As. They look at how many people actually take their time to praise you, right? So there's one or two ways you can do this. It can be organic, or it can be through a collective. The problem with the world today and the problem with people is that if a group of people realized just how successful they would be if they came together and supported one person at a time, not one person only, but have a cycle of supporting one person at a time to achieve a specific goal, a huge group of people would be successful. Allow me to go deep into that. If you had 10 friends, which in this day and age is very weird, but if you had 10 mutually understanding acquaintances, and you guys had a goal that you set out at the beginning of the year that say, each one of us needs to be in a monetized area of different fields, right? One of us is going to be an athlete. One of us is going to be, do car content. One of us is going to do bike content. Well, find your niche and then let's work together. We're 10 people with 10 family members each. That's 100 people. If we could circulate an engagement roster, and if we could circulate a group of likes, follows, and shares amongst these 100 people, our brand would grow tenfold. Our brand would grow times 100 in a matter of months for each person involved. Excuse me. All right? We would be able to boost enough for each person to have a active following on whatever platform they have. And then from there, you have enough leverage. Obviously, you wouldn't tell the companies how you go about it, but you would then have leverage to go to a company and say, listen, look at the emails that I've got on my website. Look at the amount of brand ambassadors. Look at the amount of people that are commenting on my post. Look at the amount of programs I've sold on my own with my own thing, and the hampers and the giveaways that I've done. I can be an asset to your company. I can bring this many people, this many sales guaranteed to your company. Let's work together. Any company would be foolish not to take that on, because guess what? When you go into a dealership, a car dealership, or you go into a simple mall where there's sales consultants and all these people whose job is to secure sales, one person is of great value. If you can guarantee 100 people to purchase something, you will get a contract. You will get a contract to the weight of the amount of you will get a contract to the weight of the amount of people you can actually guarantee. But from there, it only gets better. That's one foot in the door, right? That is one way in. And a lot of companies would hate for you to know something like this, because it's not a difficult thing to get right. Coaches sometimes, who also fall into this space, will take the list of how many clients that they influence, and then they'll go to a company and say, I have 65 active clients. Here they are. And these 65 active clients buy so-and-so, and I tell them to get so-and-so, and these are the results. From that following alone, a company will be like, this guy's got 65 people. And those 65 people will definitely buy from him, which means if we take a loss, we're looking at losing about 10 and getting 55 people. That's the data that he's shown us. And then they take them on, and that's how they get sponsorships. You got to be able to provide something. You got to be able to provide. You got to be able to provide something, put something on the table so that you can get something back. You know, yes, you inflate just how much presence you have, but you need to have proof of said presence, right? Even if it's not as much as you say up front, that's how you get about it. That's how you swindle deals, right? Take this formula in any business that you want to go into, and it will work all the time. So either you become really, really popular and really, really big, and you get a lot of people that just praise you like crazy, or you hack the game. You get into the game, and then you start breaking it down. You're like, hey, listen, let's do A, B, C, D, E, and then we can all be rich by the end of the year. Not really, but all of us will be in a new tax bracket if we follow this tool. And I've seen it with musicians back when I did music. I've seen it in companies that just simply provide retail brands. It always works like that. Leverage is leverage, right? So that's one thing. Now, the next thing I want to point out, which is just like a sub to this thing that I'm saying right now, is athletes that want to win competitions. This also falls onto that, because a great deal of the time, and this is a mentality I hate a lot, because it's broken and it's old and it doesn't work in the world that we work in anymore, right? If you are a bodybuilder and you are preparing for a show, and you have this hard belief that you're going to hide your body until the show day hits because you don't want people to know what you're doing, is by far the dumbest strategy on the planet. Because guess what? Even if they know what you're doing, how will they be able to counter it when they go and compete? Because I can't decide that so and so is competing against me in 12 weeks. And in that 12 weeks, I plan to grow my legs. Say I see an update of this person having gained 15 centimeters to his quads. Am I now going to just inflate my legs to counter that? No, you can't. You work on yourself. When you get on stage, what the next person did isn't going to matter. What you do for yourself is what's going to matter, because you need to stand out. Right? You need to come out on top. And there's no way that you can't exploit something that another person did. This is not UFC. Right? This is not a fighting sport where boxing, where you kind of have to hide your training because they can exploit that, because now you're on a stage with someone that is competing against you 100%, and their performance can affect your performance. But with bodybuilding, your performance is the only performance that can affect your performance, because if someone comes in better, there's absolutely nothing you could have done about that. It's about you coming in the way you're supposed to come in. So now, you hide your body and you don't post anything, and then you say you're staying quiet, and then you get to the show and nobody's heard about you. No one has heard about you. You signed on and there was no hype about you going to the show. You get there and you realize that there's a horrible reception when you get there, because the organizers now need to see you as this brand new person who's trying this thing out. And you're just another number. You're a ticket. And then when you get on stage and you have a miraculous body, the judges already, because whether you like it or not, the judges are also on social media, looking at who's possibly going to be at the show, and the reason why that's important is because it's your first impression. But if someone already knows that you're going to be there, they're going to be anxious to see you. And then from that point on, you've already got one foot in the door. Because guess what? There's going to be a hype. You see it all the time. You see it all the time with the professional bodybuilding shows. They'll mention the top 6 before you get to the show. And the commentators will already be talking about 1 or 3 people. Can Regan Grimes get his ticket at this show? Mind you, there's 15 other people at that show. But they're talking about Regan. Can Sasa do it now? What? Sasa is still one of 15 people. They're not talking about you. They're talking about other people. Now you're mad. Why aren't they talking about me? Why are they only... this is politics. It's not politics. You didn't play the mind game. You only competed on stage, but you forgot to compete off the stage. You have to win off the stage before you win on the stage. Arnold's Classic. This is a perfect example. Arnold's Classic, right, now chooses who gets to compete, and they've limited the number of competitors, and you get selected. You get selected. Now you, with the undercover body, guess what? You submit for selection and they don't know you, so you don't make the show. Do you know why that is? I'll tell you why that is. Because you're not going to sell any tickets. You guys need to stop thinking that these shows are a charity. You need to stop thinking that these sports aren't about money, because they are. And if you want to make money from a show, the show needs to make money off of you. You're not getting in the top 10 because nobody came to see you. Let that sit in. Let that sink in. You're not getting into the top 10 because nobody came to see you. You're from a country where the demographic of how many people actually make it are close to nothing. If you don't change anything, you affect nothing. I'm gonna speak on something actually. South Africans were represented by a really, really, really good athlete, Muzi Malulek, at the Dubai Pro a couple of weeks ago. I think it's now 2 weeks. Muzi was hardly posting for the show as he did with the other shows. I'm going to be honest. He was hardly posting. And this is a guy who beat the guy who came second. Muzi beat Angel last year and went on to the Olympia. The first South African to do it in 11 years. He went on to the Olympia and represented us. And I say this about the Olympia as well as I say this about the Dubai Pro show. I believed at the Olympia that he ranked higher than 7th. But I had to take into the account that South Africa isn't up there yet with bodybuilding. So much so that a higher position would not have benefited the organizers of the show. How did the guy that he beat 8 weeks prior to the Olympia, how did he get top 3? Not even top 3, top 4. But he got 7th. Did he really fall back 3 spaces from the guy that he beat? Perfect score. No. Do you know what happened? The judges saw South Africa on that paper and then they were like, South Africa? Wow. There's bodybuilders in South Africa? You win the show before you get there. You need to make noise. If major pages like Bodybuilders Without Borders and Who's in Bodybuilding and Iron Generation and Machiavelli Generation and all these other pages, if they're not talking about your arrival somewhere, chances are you're not even an underdog at that moment, because they even talk about the underdogs. You're not even an underdog. You're an unknown. And the unknowns don't do well. The unknowns don't do well. You cry about politics all you want. That is the truth. And anybody who says that that's not true can debate me about it. But that's the truth at the end of the day. If you don't make a difference, you will not be acknowledged. Tickets need to be sold, my man. Just because PPVs need to be sold. When they go and check the stats of how many people are paying for the pay-per-view and they look at the region of South Africa and it's 155 people, do you think that the South African athlete is going to get any sort of attention when the cameras go on? No. He's not. Because guess what? You're not adding to the salaries of the people that came out to the show. Why are there such huge shows in India? Because those people support their people. Look at what is this show? It's IHFF or whatever. So there's this huge show from the NPC Federation in India, and they make a festival out of it, where they invite Kai Green, Phil Heath, the biggest bodybuilders in the time, and they go all out. The country stands behind the show because they invest. And guess what? Their athletes do well at shows. They haven't breached the top 3, the top 5, or the top 7. But guess what? Those guys do some serious damage because they're a profitable nation. And let's go back to the athletes. You're hiding your physique. You're in a hoodie and in a jacket and you don't pose anything because you think that you're the main character in a story nobody's reading. That's right. You're the villain and the hero in a comic book that hasn't even left the shelves. You're an unpublished release. You're an unpublished release, and then you're going to get to a place where New York bestsellers are, and you're going to want to put your book on the table, and you're going to get mad when they kick it off. That is what your problem is. That is what your problem is. So you take it upon yourself to believe that you can make a difference. But you can't. You can't. You're not making a difference. You know why? You know why you're not making a difference? Because you think that by hiding, you're being seen. What a crazy concept. You think by hiding, you're being seen. So now pegs the question. What are you doing about that? Posting your preps doesn't mean you're exposing what you do to get that size. Because guess what? People have been asking and begging athletes for advice on how to get how big they are, and have been receiving the same bullshit advice that anybody has received, right? Because athletes have the inability to actually mentor and share what it is they're doing to get to where they need to be. So, how do you change that? Start posting as much as you can, right? Coaches and athletes tend to pick their shows out 6-7 months before the show. Unlike Samson's Olympia run last year, he told everybody that he was doing every show, but he had already had the attention that he needed. Right? So you gotta ask yourself, right? You know that you're doing the Pittsburgh Pro, which is normally a June, July, or May show, or wherever. And you know about this last year. You may not even know the date of the show, but you can pick your show. Create a rivalry behind the show. I'm doing Tampa next year. Talk about it. Post about it. Every single thing that you do, make a vlog about it. Every single thing that goes online is about you talking about a show. And people will see that. Now here you are hiding the fact that you're going to be competing somewhere, and then when you get there, nobody knows that you were there. Guess what? You actually do need the support of people in order to do well. Flying to England now to go and compete in that show, the BB Pros show. Go and compete in an England show now without anybody knowing that you're there. And they're gonna focus on their people. You think it's dumb and shallow that people would go out their way to talk about a show like that? It's important that you put yourself on. It is very important that you put yourself on. Without that, you will suffer the consequences of not taking that seriously. Right? And that is the importance of an image. Brand-wise, show-wise, monetization-wise, you need to be seen. You need to be seen. Right? And you need to understand what level you are. Okay? If I can just go back into the supplement one. If you're chasing after a supplement deal and you are doing this with leverage of 150 people, accept what you get from the deal. Don't be unreasonable with because you're not offering much. The sales that you're offering is the sales they're already getting. So now you want a salary. You want a salary from products, but you can't even access. You can't even access the small things. You can't even access the small things. The 100 sales that you're getting in 3 months is what they're getting in 1 month. You need to add, right? Know your worth. Know what it brings to the company that you're collaborating with, and then do your best to increase it. Let me just close this door. Sun's getting in. It's the AMs. I woke up early for this. So that is what you need to know. Know your value so that you can demand. Don't demand something that you know you can't bring, because it's going to bite you in the ass. Because guess what? When one company ends up being unhappy with your results, they're going to end up telling the other companies. There's going to be a resume. Hey, okay, we want to sign this guy. Why did he leave you guys? Yeah, listen, he didn't bring anything to the table. Okay, boom. Then they start blackballing you. All right? So you definitely want to work your way in there, but also you can't stop working, because there's a lot of people that received sponsorships but added absolutely no value to the company. So how do you do this? Do your own promotions, right? Take a little bit out without demanding from the company to show your worth. Do giveaways with your own money. Don't tell the company that they need to give you something to give away with. No. Show your worth early. Have a giveaway and then add it to the sales. Add it to the sales. So be like, okay, I just got with this company, and then boom, I'm giving this stuff away. So I'm going to buy you a whole stack from the company because I want you guys to enjoy this brand ambassadorship with me. And don't forget my code and the link, blah, blah, blah. You're doing that. And it shows value. It shows heart and seriousness. They'll be like, yo, this person is serious about what it is he's doing. But so many people have done something similar to that now you get to the point where the company says, okay, let's see how far it goes. My man, if you are consistently bringing 10, 15, 20 sales on an online platform base to a company, they're going to grow you. They're not going to drop you, because those 10 make more than what they're sending you. And then they start sending you more. So they'll be like, okay, this person on average is making us about 30,000 a month. Okay, and we're only giving him stuff worth 5,000. Let's kick it up, Let's give him more stuff. We see the giveaways, so let's invest in his giveaways because we actually see it's growing, When two parties are happy, the relationship goes well. But this is a business relationship. Obviously, in real relationships, only the woman is happy. Don't take that from me. Okay. But that's how business relationships work. But you need to make sure that you're doing your part so that you can call them out when you're not happy. Right? So, take the content seriously. Post every day, even if it's not reaching 100 people. But something that you need to do, like I said, that most people don't seem to get, is that you need to create an audience. And sometimes creating an audience means that you need to sit down first with the people that you know, so that you can reach the people that you don't. You get your people together. You sit down and says, guys, listen, this is the 12-month plan. We can make it. We can all make it if we all follow this plan, right? Let us share our respective clientele and industry stuff. Everybody's got to pull their weight, right? Let's all work towards this thing. And just to save you guys the trouble, if you're ever going into businesses with family and friends, always put things in contracts. Don't ever put something in a form of verbal, You said you were going to do this for us. No, the contract says that when you reach this amount, you were going to do this for us. So that everybody has a role that you can put on paper. If you can't put a person's role on paper, they don't need to be there. If you cannot justify what a person is doing in the room, they do not need to be there. Yeah, this is Jake. Jake is just Jake, he does everything with us. He's with us on the road. But what is he doing? Yeah, no, sometimes he helps with the camera. Is he the cameraman? No, he's sometimes. Okay, so what is he doing? He's just an extra. So keep him around, but don't let him into the meetings. Because today he's an extra for you. Tomorrow he is a main member for an opposition. So you don't want that. Everybody needs to be pushing their weight. And contracts are the only way you would know for a fact that someone's going to do what they said they were going to do, because the contract says what they're supposed to do. Right? It also saves you from doing other people's jobs, because the moment someone isn't putting their weight, you get rid of them. And then you appoint someone else in that position. Right? Another thing that can help with the visibility for athletes. So, in fact, not even another thing. This is just like a continuation of what I'm saying right now already, but in a different light. Create your own teams. If you're a brand, right? If you're a brand, if you want to be a brand, if you want to be an image, or you want to be a super athlete, hire your own teams. Now it's not about the friends coming together. Now you need to invest in it. Start hiring people to do jobs for you to get you to the point that you want to be at. So what does that mean? Okay, you need someone that's going to handle your social media while you train. Okay, boom, someone is posting for you. That person's job is to post set amount of times a day and make sure that everything comes out. Okay, boom. What's the second person that you need? You need someone that's going to film the content, right? You can't hold the like imagine, when you're alone, you go into the gym, you put up the tripod, you do a set, and then you switch it off. You're not in it. It's not real. It's not natural. It's you filming an exercise. You're not in the game. You're not training. You're not actually adding to yourself. So now you're either doing a half training session or you're doing bad filming. Can't be both. You need a team of people that's going to sit down and be like, okay, we're here to do this. My only job is to film. That is my occupation. People that had that in the pocket for a while, Russell O'Heary, when he was pushing his image, in fact, that was how he managed to delegate responsibilities. Right now, he's doing a lot of things on himself. It's full-time. Some things he films alone, some things he films with the team that he has. But I can tell you that his run was a whole lot stronger and bigger when he had a full team working for him. Some people are teaching their spouses to do this for them, and it's working off. Nick Walker invested in his brother, and Nick Walker's image is what's held him even in the years that he didn't compete. Missed out on two Olympias, was overseen, overshadowed. His image didn't fit well with the shows. Olympia lost the show because of that, blah, blah, blah. These are the things that matter, right? These are the things that matter. Buy that camera or buy that additional phone that you know is going to be your camera content creation, and then get someone to work with you. A team can always start with just one person. One person apart from yourself. There's no I in team. Get someone and start something. Literally go about your way and get a team. One does sales. Okay, you have a brand ambassadorship and an endorsement. Okay, someone's got to be handling the sales for that. Somebody's got to be going out their way to sell what it is that you're working with, so that you can get to the point where you're making your own merchandise and you're selling. Now you're making money in two funnels. This is how you stay abroad in the fitness industry or in content creation industry. You can't be a one-hit wonder. And the only way to make sure that you stay on top is if you have a team that you are that's meeting deadlines. Have it on a contractual thing. Like, you need someone that needs to understand your work rate. Don't if you can't get someone, teach someone. You've already been doing something for long enough. Get a mate or someone that you know hasn't had a job in a minute, and be like, listen, bro, I don't have all the money in the world, but I'm investing in this. So I'm going to first teach you how to do this, and then I'm going to give you a little salary just so that you can stay afloat, but also so that we can grow together, because the bigger I get, the more you get. That's how it works. That is very much how it works. So you want to have a full team behind you when you're promoting yourself as a business. Because the moment you become a brand ambassador, the moment you become an athlete who does content creation, you become a business. And the only way for your business to grow in stock is by more people investing in you. And they're not going to do it if you're arrogant. They're not going to do it if you think you know everything. And they're not going to do it if you can't show the work. And that is one of the most vital things that has to come out of brand deals, people, English is fighting. Brand ambassadorships and clothing deals, anything. And always give 1,000%. Some things just won't work. If you know that you have a solid team that's working day in and day out and, running as much as it can to make sure that you perform well, and the partnership doesn't work, understand that it just wasn't the one for you, and then you move on. Some relationship, just because someone chose you out, doesn't make the relationships the best. Right? So you want to put yourself in a position where you're running your individual content like a Fortune 500 company. Everyone's going to pull their weight. And you want that because in the end of it all, you would have created a platform, a very, very good platform of monetized, well-ended business. You would have created employment. You would have signed deals. You're not going to get the Nike shoe deal if you don't have a team like Kobe's or Tiger Woods or LeBron or Michael Jordan's. You need a team. It's not one person. Everybody thinks about a manager. That if someone is putting themselves out to say, my manager got me this, best believe that manager has a team. Someone is taking the calls. Someone is making the calls. Someone is signing deals. Someone is getting the deals. That's how it has to work. Otherwise, if you're the one who's making the calls, when are you training? Chances are right now you're an athlete with a 9-to-5. Okay, so now you got a 9-to-5 job and you want to be the next big thing in fitness. Sure, you got to go to the gym once you knock off that job, and you got to go and film content. And then when you got to go home, you got to spend hours editing. Even if AI is in there, this is still time wasting. Outside of that, then you got to get your meals done. You got to take care of yourself because you still need to look the best. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Then you are a coach and you need your programs up. So you got to sit down and you got to start making the programs. Right? And then you got to start building your following. You got to start doing stupid things like interacting in challenges on TikTok so that you get more people on your feed. You got to start. Now you see how you've divided yourself in so many places. You've broken yourself. You've separated yourself. You're here. You're there. You're there. You're there. You're there. You're there. You're not making any guala. You're not making any money. You're spending money to sustain an engine that's not working. That's what's happening, but you're cooked. You're cooked. So, what do? Find out where you're strong and hold on to that leadership position in your business. And then what you do is you get someone who's strong in another area. You get someone who's going to do the sales. You get someone who's going to bring in the clients. You're going to get someone who's going to film the content. You need to function with a team. The reason it's better to hire a team than get a bunch of mates, because when you're hiring people, the goal will always be you. But when you get a bunch of friends to help you out, one day it's going to be, okay, but why should it always be you? I can do this too. Or, you should give someone else a chance because we can also, grow. No. If you know you're alone, hire. If you have a support base like family and everything like that, structure them in, but everything should be contractual. Everything should be on paper. Hire family too if you can, but make sure that nobody is overstepping the boundaries of the next person, because that is 1000% going to happen, especially when money starts coming in. When you are a content creator and you buy your first car, man, see the people around you. See the reaction from the people around you. They're not going to be championing you. They're not going to be the happiest because they would have felt that that's their car. So put yourself in a position where when someone starts acting up, you remind them of what their responsibility is. No, but I hired you. This is your job. If you don't want to work here anymore, just tell me. You can start your own thing. Nobody's blocking you. Nobody's stopping you. No one's going to prevent you from keeping that going. If you want to leave, you can leave, but I'm just going to get someone to replace you. Now let's touch on that last bit about companies. If you're a small company and you ventured in sponsoring people, or you want to start venturing into sponsoring people, let me tell you what not to do, as I have done it multiple times with multiple businesses. Pass, fail, this has always been the case. Do not allow emotion to be the reason that you are endorsing someone, right? Because if you sign someone on because you're trying to please the next person, you're just giving things away. Unless, of course, that person, like any other Fortune 500 company has done, is the partner of someone who's bringing significant business to your company, then you're still doing it for a reason, right? If Donald Trump had to ask me to sign some kid because it's him, I know what I'm getting from Trump, right? This is just an example. Donald Trump doesn't fuck with me. But this is the example that you need, where you, and try not to be a fan of a person before working with them, because that is also going to distract you from seeing whether they're vital or not. It needs to make sense in the numbers. So don't sign someone up because you saw them receiving a lot of popularity. I once made that mistake. I once signed up an athlete who's a coach for a supplement company because I saw how much attention he was giving another colleague of mine in his business. He was posting every day. He was praising the guy. He was doing a lot. He was going all out. So I was like, hey, this guy is doing what I want. He's singing this guy's praises. He's giving an occultic following by letting the world know. Let me do that with him. Let me take him on and sponsor him with something else. And guess what? Was I not surprised? was I not surprised? I didn't get a single thing from this person. In a 3-month contract, I didn't get a single thing, except when can I put in my order this month? When can I get my gear this month? That's what I got. Can I send you my order list for this month? That's what I got. That is what I got. And this didn't just happen once. I probably failed with this about 5 times. I once sponsored someone because I thought they had the potential to do it, because they had everything that said they were going to be successful. They were pretty, they were consistent, they were this and that, and this and that. And then I was their first deal, and they didn't know how to handle that, and they botched it. They botched it, and I lost money. I lost a lot of money. I've lost thousands to choosing the wrong people. Once or twice I chose the right person, but it wasn't enough. Though the 1 or 2 athletes I had couldn't save the hole I made for myself with the people that I didn't get right. And that is always going to mean something. One good person isn't going to save a sinking ship. And I got it wrong. I got it wrong a lot. One thing that definitely also hurt me was being a people's pleaser. And those 2 things should never come in contact with business. And I was just giving out because I thought that I was saving. You know, I was like, hey, I was searching for love. I wasn't searching for loyalty. I thought that there was one and the same thing. It wasn't. I was going out my way. I was calling people and asking, hey, how's everything going? Did you finish your whey? Should I give you another one? Did you finish your juice? Should I give you another one? And I was being a slave to people that. And then I'd ask, hey, you haven't reposted. You know what's crazy? You know what's really crazy? I would put myself in this position, and then I would rant so hard. Like I would just lose my mind and start ranting online on social media. And the same people who taking advantage of me, who are allowed to take advantage of me, will be like, don't outburst out loud. You can't let people know that they've affected you, and you can't allow what one person's doing to affect your generosity for others. Anybody listening to this who's gone through what I've gone through is probably kicking our door right now, because that's what you hear. Don't give up. Don't give up what? Charity. I shouldn't give up my donation to nothing. To the People's Fund of I'm giving free stuff to people who have jobs. That's crazy. That is insane. But to expect it from people that are not planning to survive with you. You die, they lose nothing. They lose free stuff. You know what's crazy? I once sponsored someone, and when the sponsorship didn't show, and they used to complain about everything. I was coaching them for free. I was giving them supplements for free, and I was helping out with things like groceries and stuff like that. Mind you, when I went under and I couldn't do that anymore, I ran into this person buying all these things themselves. And listen, they weren't just buying stuff themselves, bro. They were buying high-end, like I'm giving them local brands, and then I see them at discount promotion and they're buying Optimum Nutrition. What a slap in the face, bro. What a slap in the face. People who are around you will not support you. They will pay double to someone that they don't know instead of paying your price with someone they do know that they're uplifting. Your money isn't, a person who knows you doesn't feel the value in giving you their money. You, like, as cliche as this sounds, you're always going to be supported by someone who has absolutely no idea who you are, which is why sometimes faceless companies make more money than a company where the owner is known. How many people know who the owner of Optimum Nutrition is? They're making millions. They're making millions. You know, how many people know the real owners of Nike, especially in this day and age? Nobody knows who the owners of Nike look like now. Not the youth now, anyway. But them Jordans, when they come out, they're going to be sold out. They know Michael Jordan, but they don't know the engine behind Michael Jordan. They know LeBron, they don't know the engine behind LeBron. And to show you how hard this goes, that at the end of the day, you're just a name. The companies move on. Kobe has passed for a couple of years now, and they're still dropping his shoes. They just dropped out a new clothing line with Kobe's name on it. If you think that Kobe was the reason people were buying, his name, his legacy, yes. But guess what? Now they're monetizing his legacy. They're still selling the energy drink that he made. They're still selling his shoes. In fact, there's a brand new pair I saw online. I'm going to cop those real soon. Ooh. These Air Force looking like Mambas. He'll never sign another shoe again. So if you own a company and you want to be successful, be harsh. And by being harsh, you're not being harsh to the world. You're just being kind to yourself. Because guess what? When your company closes down, and it will if you don't get it right. When your company closes down, there's no GoFundMe to reopen you. They're going to point at where your shop used to be and he says, remember the shop that used to be here? Yeah, we used to get all our supplements from there. I wonder what happened to it. You become I wonder what happened to him person. And I promise you they won't care. They will not care. You're a memory. So if you want to be a company that stands the test of time, treat everybody like a customer. Separate yourself from people who live off discounts. That person hasn't even bought from you and you're already asking for a discount. Their first buy, don't you have a discount? Don't you think I would have told you about the discount before you purchased? It's store policy. It's store policy for me to tell you about the discount. Don't you think that's something I would have remembered? Don't you think there'd be like a flag or a sign somewhere? If you're a returning customer, you would have gotten an email. You know, if you're a customer who's bought here before, you would have gotten an email about our specials. Why are you begging for one now? Don't you think that if there was a special and I didn't tell you about it and then I only told you about it when you asked, that's me doing bad business practice? It's crazy, right? It's crazy. Stay away from people like that. I've had a blast. My day 3 stream is up. I would talk more. As you guys can see, I can go on forever. But tomorrow is still another day. We will be getting into more conversations. Don't forget to DM me asking about the ebook challenge. I will be posting that up on all socials today. And it will be starting next week on the 7th of July. All right. I am going out my way to give people that actually do the work a free year of gym membership. That is my sacrifice to the world. I'm gonna be a blesser for 2. I'm gonna be a sugar daddy for 2 people, male or female. Pause. And I'm a sponsor for 3 months supplementation and a year's gym membership. So you can enter this challenge even if you don't go to the gym, because I do also have home workouts, right? The most important thing is obviously the dieting and the supplements, and those are the important things. But everything else in terms of training, there are alternatives. So get that in and let me know if you are ready to make a change in your life, because that's all I'm about. That is all I am about. Damn, I'm tired. Guys, thank you. It's been a blast. I've enjoyed this. I will be seeing you guys tomorrow. Don't freeze. Let's get my song back on.